Hey guys, I have another video today, and today's going to be the top 10 best candles from Bath & Body Works for 2020. Yeah, it's been a crazy year and we're almost near the end of it, and it is the time to do these top 10 lists. It was a struggle to come up with 10 candles from Bath & Body Works. As you know, if you've watched any of my top 10 for whatever year in the past previous years, the stipulations for this is that it actually has to be a brand new fragrance, and if you know, BBW really loves repackaging lately, so it's really hard to come up with even 10 candles that are like both new and like outstanding and actually like steals your heart. I would say the bottom 5 of these, like, I could kind of live like without, you know, like I wouldn't even necessarily need to repurchase them, but I still really enjoyed them, so I was like, you know what, I'll just round out and do a whole top 10. I would say really only maybe the first 1 or 2 like truly captured my heart in terms of like, oh my god, I really want more of this, but everything else is just kind of take it or leave it. But that's sort of the course that BBW is on recently. I feel like I say this every year. Hopefully next year we'll get something a little bit more better or enticing. Mind you, I had the move and then there was the COVID lockdown. So there was a good chunk of time where I was just not buying candles. So there was that whole lavender collection that maybe had the potential to have really good ones that I would have really enjoyed, but it was just during my move and I just wasn't buying candles because I was very aware of all the candles that I had in my possession, that I was not in the market for any more candles, and there was just a lot going on in my life that I just put a pause on candle buying. But other than that, I think I pretty much like sort of smelled and sniffed everything that they've offered this year, so we'll just get into it and see how it goes. So number 10 on our list is Lakeside Morning, which I actually picked up rather recently. A store randomly had it somewhere before Candle Day, and it's crisp autumn air, white driftwood, and a hint of green apple. I was saying when I first hauled this or talked about it, it was way past the fact when this came out. This, I think, came out at the like sort of like in the summertime, so it was still sort of like lockdown, and I wasn't going into the store very frequently to smell anything, and I remember seeing this being called Lakeside Morning, and I just figured it would be Lakeside Sunrise, which was the same fragrance as Bergamot Waters, which I don't enjoy at all. So when I saw this and I saw the notes on it, I was like, oh, this is just going to be Lakeside Sunrise, but it totally isn't. It's actually way juicier than that, and I really enjoy it. There's a slight cologne masculine vibe to it, but there's a very sweet, juicy, crisp green apple in there that I really enjoy, that has a really sweet pleasantness to it, and it really smells, it's kind of similar to the Sweater Weather Body Care, which smells different from the Sweater Weather candle, where it has that sort of like cologne-y, unisex apple cologne vibe to it. It's not the same fragrance, but very similar fragrances, and I really enjoy that. And it sort of smells like I used a very nice like apple-scented men's like cologne-ish unisex fragrance in the shower, and there was like hot steamy water like going in the shower, and you walked out of it and then you smell it on your skin, and it has that like nice like soap on your skin type of quality to it. It's a very fresh, clean pleasantness to it. I was just like burning it non-stop for like a whole week, and I was just like, whoa, I need to like put a pause on this because I really enjoy it, and I'm not sure I'll ever find this again. But yeah, I actually quite enjoyed this one. It's not one of the fragrances I normally gravitate towards, but it was a like welcoming, I don't know, change to what I usually burn, so I really actually enjoyed that. So that was Lakeside Morning there. Burned great, and it was plenty strong, so we're good to go there. Number 9 on our list is a recent one, which is Under the Christmas Tree right here. And that's what that looks like. This is the Luminary Wraparound. This is Fir Balsam, Juniper Berries, Vanilla Eggnog, and Sage Leaves. This, of course, came out for the Black Friday week, I believe, and it was the This Just In collection, so just recently talked about this. I have burned this like halfway down. Really enjoy it. It's quite similar to Vanilla Balsam, but a different like take on it, because there is a more like dairy, ooey gooey vanilla cream component to it that's not as icy cool as the like sort of mellow vanilla that shows up in Vanilla Balsam. It's a little bit warmer, and I guess it could be eggnog, but there's also a very herbal kick to it that you get from the sage as well as the juniper that gives it a slightly different twist. And I would say, if anything, it's a little more complex than Vanilla Balsam, that I actually really enjoyed it. It wasn't anything that I needed to repurchase, but I really enjoyed it, and it was unique, and I'm not sure this would ever come back out again, but I really enjoyed it while I was burning it, and it got stronger the more I burned it, so I enjoyed that too. It did burn quite viciously and was sitting a lot, but it still burned like you know, evenly otherwise. So that was number 9 on a list, Under the Christmas Tree. Rather nice Christmas fragrance. It's not as like coveted as like Winter Garland or Merry Mistletoe, but I still enjoy it nonetheless. So that was number 9. Number 8 on our list, which was totally surprising. I totally wrote this off and I was just like, girl, I don't care about this. I don't need another one. And the more and more I burned it, the more I really enjoyed it. It was just another one of those like pleasant ones that really creep up on you like Lakeside Morning was. And it is Saltwater Breeze right here, which came out during the springtime, I believe. It was like right before lockdown happened. And the body care came out with it. And there was a candle as well. And this is Fresh Linen, Violet Leaves, White Water Blossom. Yeah, ooh, I know, I have fond memories of this, well, fond fantasy memories. Interesting tidbit, before COVID and lockdown happened, I had accepted a new job and I was supposed to move down to the beach and have a place on the beach. And so in preparation for that mindset, I was burning this and I was like, ooh, saltwater breeze. I can just imagine being on my balcony and having the saltwater like air come into my, space or whatever. But then COVID happened and threw a whole wrench in that complete plan. So that didn't actually pan out as it was. As you know, I live in the country now, so it's not at all at the beach. But I had fond memories of smelling this and using the travel size shower gel when I was at my previous place in anticipation of this fantasy, beach condo that I was supposed to move into. But that didn't happen, but that's 2020 for you. But yeah, so that's why I have like sort of fond fantasy memories of this. But you really do get a salty component to it, mixed with like almost like a melon apple fruity blend that makes it sort of juicy and sweet, and mixed with a very clean, crisp, like floral blend. And I really enjoyed it. The more and more I burned it, it was just, once again, so pleasant is the word that comes to mind. Fresh and clean, and it actually really did evoke a saltwater breeze. It was much better than I had first written it off as. So I really enjoyed that one. So that was number 8 on our list right there. Number 7 on our list is Salted Chocolate Caramel, which this one was an online exclusive. I burned through one. It was flawless all the way down to the bottom, and I tossed it, so that's why I don't have it with me anymore, but I'll put a photo of it. It says caramel, milk chocolate, and a pinch of sea salt. This one was actually surprisingly good. I didn't really expect to like this as much. It was, I think, I just put in an online order randomly, and I was like, this is an online exclusive. Let me put it in there. And it was really scrumptious and so strong. It was one of the strongest ones I've had this year, so I really enjoyed that. It really smells sort of like a salted caramel, was it mocha from Starbucks, where the chocolate component sort of gave it like this coffee vibe to it that I really enjoyed. But it also kind of smelled like a chocolate caramel like candy bar, so I guess like a Twix kind of thing. But it was just really scrumptious. It smelled like a blended like salted caramel like chocolate frappuccino or something. And it was actually pretty good. I really enjoyed it. There was almost like this slightly sweet powdered sugar component to it too. It was just excellent, and I really enjoyed that one. It was strong and burned all the way down to the bottom, so that one was really good. And that was number 7 on our list. Number 6 on our list is going to be Dutch Apple Waffle right here. This was from the fall collection right here. And this is warm buttermilk waffles, baked apple slices, and ground nutmeg. This one had some expectations to live up to, because I was like, is it going to be apple pumpkin pancakes? Is it going to be apple crumble? But it wasn't. It was a totally brand new fragrance that I really enjoyed. It burned down great. Like you see how far that's gone down. Very clean burn. It hasn't dudded out. Was quite strong. It's like this really juicy, buttery caramel apple blend. It's like an apple caramel fragrance, but there's a slight, like a certain butteriness to it that I haven't smelled from any other candle from them. It was really, really delicious. There wasn't quite anything bakery about it, but I guess you could almost say it's, waffles. Not really, but it's like this buttery apple caramel fragrance that I really enjoyed. But yeah, I guess there's a slight, because if you compare it to like Thanksgiving, which is like an apple caramel scent, this one does have I guess a little bit more of a bakery twist to it. But it was delicious, and I really enjoyed it. It was totally unique. It's like really sweet and candied and juicy. Once again, I always reference the spiced pomegranate ciders, a similar sweet, ooey gooey candied component to that I get from this that I really enjoyed. So that was Dutch Apple Waffle right there, and that was number 6. Number 5 is Toasted Coconut S'mores, which is another one that I don't have because I already burned through that, finished it, and tossed it. And that was gooey marshmallow, toasted coconut, milk chocolate, and golden graham crackers. This was super pleasant, delicious too. I think it sort of nubbed out at the mid-range, but then sort of like fixed itself afterwards. It was a toasted coconut fragrance that had like a graham cracker note in it, but it was really scrumptious and delicious. It reminds me of if you've ever had the jet puffed marshmallows and the toasted coconut ones, and they're brown. The toasted coconut flavor, it's like if you had literally opened that bag of those Jet Puffs toasted coconut marshmallows. Smells just like that. You get that toasted coconut in there, but it wasn't grody. It was actually really pleasant and bakery scrumptious. Mixed with that gooey marshmallow and the graham cracker note, it was excellent. I really enjoyed that one. If that one came back, or if I just happened to see that one at SAS, I would consider that one. So that one was really good too. So that was number 5 on our list. Number 4 is Peach Sugar Cone right here, which I actually bought in 2019, I think. It was available during like Candle Day, I want to say. And I saw this and the chocolate marshmallow clouds, but then I want to say this became an online exclusive afterwards, which was weird. But it's Juicy Peach, Whipped Praline, and Crunchy Sugar Cone. The first one that I had that I bought from the store burned great, but then this one kind of nubbed out and started smelling plasticky, so I was like, do I put this in this list? But as if I were to judge it on the initial one that I had, I really actually ended up enjoying that one, that I was like, yeah, I did kind of like this one, so that's why it is on our list. This one is like their sort of market peach type of peach fragrance, but not quite as sour and trash bag plastic peaches, a little bit more pleasant, mixed with, it smells like really like a campfire donut type of bakery note. It was sort of like that powdered, slightly sweet bread note. It wasn't quite like a dessert treat. There was a slight savoriness to it that made it a little less sweet. But if you know, sort of, I guess, take that campfire donut equation out of it, I guess it could smell like a sugar cone in the way that it's sort of crunchy and not totally sweet. But there is still a sweet bakeryness to it. Much better than that peach cobbler, which was just like a caramel, like a cloying caramel peach scent. It was much an improvement from that it was more so like an actual bakery peach fragrance. It's not really like the berry waffle cone or the blueberry pie crust note with peach, which was what a lot of us were expecting, and that was where my main disappointment was. But the more I grew to the more I burned it, the more I grew to enjoy it on its own unique characteristics, that I actually started really enjoying it. It's actually quite pleasant, so I did enjoy Peach Sugar Cone, so that was number 4 on our list. Number 3 on the list is another fall one, and that's Banana Walnut Muffin right here. This one also came out during the summertime, and I finally grabbed it later on. It's sweet banana, golden nutmeg, and cinnamon sugar muffin. Delicious. This one's really like good in a very authentic or realistic kind of way, where it really does smell like you have banana muffins like in the oven and baking, and you pull it out and you get that sort of like nuttiness to it, mixed with like the cooked mashed like bananas in there. Delicious. Very nice. It's not as like artificial runts candied as banana bunk cake or banana split milkshake is, so I appreciated that. It's to the point that sometimes you're like, is this really a banana fragrance? But yeah, like when it's all said and done, I think it's still considered a banana walnut muffin fragrance. Very similar to cinnamon nutmeg fragrance that they had a while back in 2012, but that one was unscented, and this one they like amped it up and made it like so much better. So I really enjoyed this one. It did dud out mid-range, so I did start putting this on a, what is it? A hot plate candle warmer, and that's how I enjoy it now. But it was a beautiful, gorgeous burn for the first half, so at least there was that. But I did buy another one of this because I did really enjoy it. So it's a banana walnut muffin right there. Number 2, oh my god, I ragged on this one when it first came out, but see, this is the thing with like candle reviewing, is like you sort of give your first impressions, and you're like always on the go, like reviewing, hauling, that sometimes like you sort of like glaze over fragrances that actually were good, and that is Chocolate Rose Macaron actually is number 2 on my list. I was like contemplating returning the second one of this, but now I don't dare. This was, oh my god, that elusive online exclusive bakery collection that showed up that one morning, and then everything was selling out like crazy. And the fact that it was selling out like crazy and people were going so crazy over it, I don't understand why they didn't pour a re-pour of that one and give us a second wave of it when it was so immensely popular. There were so many candles that got canceled. It was a whole fiasco. It was like one of the biggest like, you know, candle scandals of 2020. It was crazy. I was supposed to have way more in that order, but many of them ended up getting canceled. But I did get Chocolate Rose Macaron, so I was excited about that. This is creamy chocolate, rose petals, and crispy macaron cookie. This one actually burns very hot. It has a thick rope-like wick, so it soots like crazy, but it actually at least hasn't dudded out. It is a strong fragrance though. Yeah, this one's so weird, but I love it. And I just love weird fragrances because BBW just doesn't do it so frequently. But it is like a hot cocoa and cream, like powdery dry cocoa fragrance is what you get from it, with a not really a rose fragrance, just like this like bland floral fragrance that I guess could be rose, but not really. I can't really pinpoint it as any particular like floral or flower, but rather just a generic like floral that makes the chocolate perfumey. But I love that it's like a perfumey chocolate, so I'm like I was really into it. The more and more I burned it, I really enjoyed it, and it was just like this nice I don't know, like when I was in the mood for both floral and chocolate, which doesn't come up often because I really don't like chocolate fragrances, but when I was in the mood for it, it was just so weird and it just like scratched and itched so like satisfyingly that I really enjoyed it. So that was chocolate rose macaron right there. There's a whole crap load of ones like that strawberry maple waffles and the blackberry cobbler that I never got my hands on, so those potentially could have been good, but they were so hard to get. So yeah, so chocolate rose macaron though was the one I was really hoping for from that collection, and so I was glad to get that one. And then number one, put your thoughts down below as to what you think it is. Yeah, friggin', this one actually stole my heart. This one I bought like, I think at least 4 or 5 of. Friggin' loved it. Like this one is one that I'm just like, yeah, like I really enjoy this one. Like this deserves, like this was hands down number one on the list. And that is Pink, Lilac, and Vanilla right here, which this technically I think came out in 2019, but it's really like a spring fragrance for 2020. So I like carry them over into the next year. So that's why there's like spring fragrances out now that it could potentially be new, but I would still carry those on until into the 2021 range, so that's why they're not in this lineup. But we have Pink, Lilac, and Vanilla. Yeah, it's a 2019 pour. Fresh lilac bouquets, dewy greens, vanilla blossom with essential oils with that beautiful matching baby pink wax. This sooted like crazy though, and I hated that. That was the one thing that I hated about this. It was just like sooting like crazy, and you would have to keep being on top of it in terms of the trimming the wicks, but then in the mid-range point, you would trim them too much, and then they would start dying out. It's just the usual conundrum with BBW candles, but oh my god, this is so gorgeous. This is so freaking good. I love this so much. It's like in my top probably like 5 at this point, up there with Pink Petal Tea Cake, Rose Madder Meringue, and Love Rose Vanilla. Oh my god, I love this one so much. I'm like still shocked that BBW can still put out something as good as this in 2020. Oh my god, it's just so, oh my god, it's so beautiful. This is Fresh Cut Lilacs, which I really hated at the beginning. Like I couldn't stand the smell of lilacs, but this was actually like a gateway into me enjoying Fresh Cut Lilacs as well, that I really actually enjoy Fresh Cut Lilacs now too, like no one's business. But this one takes Fresh Cut Lilacs and gets rid of that sort of sharp, harsh edge to it that I didn't initially enjoy, and mixes it with like this super smooth, creamy vanilla that is, it's kind of like lotiony, kind of similar to the vanilla that's in Love Rose Vanilla from the Aromatherapy collection. It's sort of like that, but they replaced the rose with lilac, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. And it has a super girly, feminine, like pink quality to it that I enjoy so much. If it was body care, I'd be all over it. It's just absolutely beautiful and absolutely delicious. I just can't get enough of it. Yeah, it's just, I can't gush about this enough. Like, friggin' love the hell out of Pink, Lilac, and Vanilla. So I know I bought multiples of this. If this, like, showed up at SAS in a store, I'd be, like, down in a minute. I'd be, like, get into my basket right now. So, oh my god, love this one so much. Simply excellent. Like, I'm, like, hoping something as good as this will come out for 2021. Spring is really my favorite season, so fingers crossed. So that was that. And that was my whole list of 10 candles. Yeah, kind of hard to come up with those. I think really the Chocolate Rose Macaron and Pink Lilac Vanilla were the ones that really like spoke to me, and the other ones I enjoyed, but sort of kind of take it or leave it. Shout out for Rosewater Meringue. This actually in its test phase format was in last year's list, so I didn't include it in this year, but this is technically the first year that it came out wide to all stores. So Rosewater Meringue, oh my god, friggin' love this. Can't recommend this enough. I've talked about this to death, so I'm not really gonna get into it, but it's like that beautiful rosewater note from Rosewater and Ivy with this like spun sugar, raspberry, cotton candy fragrance to it that's just gorgeous beyond words. Like in my top favorites. Can't speak well enough about this fragrance. So this is technically a 2020 wide release, but it's already in my 2019 video, so that's why it wasn't included in this, but still wanted to shout it out because it was the first year that it came out to all stores, so there was that as well. And that's pretty much it. Let me know in the comments down below what your top 10 favorites were. Did you agree with any of these? I feel like as a whole it was kind of lackluster. Like there's hardly anything in the winter time that was even like new or remotely like hoard worthy. So yeah, and like this year I really went through a phase of trying not to hoard so many candles and buy repeats that it's might also influence the fact that I'm sort of take it or leave it with the most of the ones in this collection. But Pink, Lilac, and Vanilla is, yeah, that one's close to my heart. So yeah. So yeah, thanks so much. Leave your comments down below, and I guess happy 2021. It's still a little bit early for the New Year's, but we're getting there. So yeah, hopefully 2021 will be better than 2020 in multiple ways. So thanks so much for watching. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.